Hey there folks, Recon Trooper here, back with another video, and as you can tell by the title, this video is about which LEGO game I would like to see personally made after LEGO Star Wars has been released in about 2,000 years' time at this point. And so, if you like the video, feel free to drop a like and comment, and enjoy the Halo Reach gameplay in the background there. And so onto it. So the next LEGO game I would like to see, the desire comes from the movies that I was watching a few days ago, because I got bored and just decided to watch the franchise. The 5 movies right now, as the 6th one isn't out yet. And that is, I'd like to see a new LEGO Jurassic game be made. With Dominion only 7 months away, I think it would be a great opportunity for them to make a new LEGO Jurassic game, and like with LEGO Star Wars, make it from the ground up, and therefore, update the first 4 from the first game, the first 4 films, and then of course add Fallen Kingdom and Dominion to the new one, if they made one. And I think there's lots of potential there for them to make it, because with all the stuff they're doing with LEGO Star Wars, there's no doubt they could pull it off. They'd obviously need to get approval, all the all the business side of everything, but in terms of just developing a game, a LEGO Jurassic game, I could see them pulling it off no problem, and like I said, Dominion is coming out in 7 months, so it'd be a great opportunity for them to make a new Jurassic game. And, being built from the ground up, like I said, would allow them to remake some stuff from the first game, LEGO Jurassic World, in terms of, one thing is, a lot of the hub areas aren't just, they don't look quite right in a lot of the time. One example is LEGO Jurassic the Jurassic World hub on Isla Nublar, where if you've seen the film and remember that line when Claire and Owen are chasing the Indominus down, Claire says, "We found her north of the Gyrosphere Valley, between the old park and the aviary," or something like that. You'll notice, the Indominus's location in the film is not directly between the old park, being from the first film, the visitor center from the first film, which is covered in grass, vines, and moss. And then the aviary, it's, in the game, it's located directly between them. But in the movie, it's a lot farther away from, anything. It's farther away than anything. And, in fact, because it sent the whole thing in the Gyrosphere Valley, in the film, happens before the old park and the aviary stuff. And so it would make more sense to have the Indominus enclosure be more on the left side of the eye of the hub world, kind of right in front. Like, if you're looking at it from above, north, south, east, west, and looking at it from an overhead view, it should be, directly north of the Gyrosphere Valley, so that, because, then, like in the movie, it would enter the Gyrosphere Valley first, and then it would go into the old park, and then the aviary, instead of in LEGO Jurassic World, where, it basically it's already between the old park and the aviary, and then has to go down to the Gyrosphere Valley, then double back to the old park and the aviary to make it happen in the film. And so, it just kind of doesn't make sense to do it that way, than instead of, make it just more accurate to the film, so that, the location is actually kind of directly north of the Gyrosphere Valley, and then it makes more sense where, it fights, it has that whole thing with the Ankylosaurus, and then there's the waterfall and all that. And that's another thing too, is some of the locations in that hub world aren't, some of the locations from the film aren't in that hub world, like that waterfall that, the boys jump off of, trying to get away from the Indominus. And then, of course, there's the control room area, that building doesn't even exist, really, except in cutscenes. And so, and also some of the other things are completely misplaced, like the T-Rex paddock is more, in the movie, the T-Rex paddock is actually just a little down from, that cone-shaped building, and it's a little down from there to the left. But in the game, it apparently is all the way down to where the water is, and then to the right. And, it just... So, if they made a new game from the ground up, they definitely should make the hubs a little more accurate, film accurate. Obviously, it's not going to be completely to scale, because no hub in any game, never mind a Lego game, but no hub in any game that has free roam, is to scale. For obvious reasons, it's impossible to make them completely to scale that way. Like you see in Marvel games that have the New York open world, there's no way in heck they could make an entire New York City hub world, or, free roam city. At least not in this day and age. Maybe 3,000 years from now, but not right now. And which also brings me to the other thing about the hubs in Lego Jurassic World is the Isla Sorna hubs are actually really small, compared to the Isla Nublar ones. If I had to put a scale on them, I'd say they're about maybe a quarter the size of the Isla Nublar hubs. They only, just kind of, they're not big, I mean, they're big enough that it does take a little while to get from one side to the other and back, but they're not so big like the Nublar hubs are. Those things are monsters compared to the Sorna ones. And, it kind of brings the point, too, that, there's areas, that are restrictive to dinosaurs. Especially the large dinosaurs, and on the Isla Sorna ones, there's only one for both Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, and there's only one paddock for large dinosaurs throughout both of those hubs, each. But the Isla Nublar ones have 4 or 5 of them. And so it would kind of be better if they scaled it a little more to, be more large dinosaur friendly, And on that note, I think too, one thing they could definitely change in all 4 hubs, not just not any one particular one, but all four of them, is make the hubs a little more free to roam around as the large dinosaurs instead of these restricted little areas, because kind of makes it boring when you can't play as a T-Rex in, say the visitor center, or the Indominus in the whole Jurassic World park. It kind of, like the whole point of the movies is dinosaurs that are roaming around freely after breaking out of their cages, and so in a new game I think they should make it just completely open world for even the dinosaurs, not just the human characters but the dinosaurs. And it would be I think it would be a tremendous experience, I think, to be able to play as the large dinosaurs in areas that you can't get to, as the large dinosaurs, like, and so, and so that's kind of my take on the hubs, and not to mention also, with Fallen Kingdom and Dominion being thrown into the mix, that adds for some potential for some more hub worlds, and for Fallen Kingdom, my idea is kind of they could have kind of two mini hubs that put together would total one big hub sort of thing, and the first one being another Isla Nublar hub world, but with it being like basically the Jurassic World hub world, but it's just the park. You don't go anywhere else. You don't go to where the Indominus paddock used to be or anything. You just stay around the park area the whole time. And another thing too is, of course, the buildings would all be, because it's 3 years later, right? All the buildings would be a little more, would look a lot more appropriate for a 3-year gap of being abandoned, basically. And so, so some of the buildings would have moss growing on them and, all that stuff. And then, of course, the third thing, being Fallen Kingdom, is that the island would have more of a volcanic kind of appearance, because, it's got a volcano in the film and there's lava everywhere, so it would only make sense to have lava in the hub world too. In the game, in the hub world. And so that's the Isla Nublar sort of mini hub, and then the other mini hub I was thinking would be the Lockwood estate that the rest of the film takes place in, all that stuff with the Indoraptor. I think that would be another cool hub to have, be able to roam around a mansion and with the dinosaurs, the raptor, the Indoraptor, and other dinosaurs, and characters, and then, of course, there's places from Dominion that we don't know about yet that I'm sure would be fantastic for being a hub world, for being a hub world location. We don't know yet, of course, but there's no doubt there'd be some pretty spectacular locations that would work great for a hub. And so that's kind of my thoughts on the hub side of things. And then there's, of course, the other thing being the dinosaurs, and with with Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga having 300 characters, 200 variants, and 150 ships or something around that number. There's no doubt they could have more playable dinosaurs in this game, like if they made a new one. And, of course, dinosaurs from Fallen Kingdom for starters, like the Indoraptor, You know, I'm sure people would just love to play as the Indoraptor running around the hub worlds. You know I would. I even tried to make the Indoraptor on the first game. You know, I took a Velociraptor, turned him all black with a few yellow spots, and then gave him an Indominus Rex head, you know, and called that my Indoraptor. But being able to have a default, you know, already in the game Indoraptor, I think would be great. In addition to other dinosaurs from Fallen Kingdom, like the Stygimoloch, which is that headbutting thing that helps Owen and Claire escape, and then helps Owen trash the bidding location in the mansion there, where the dinosaurs are being sold off. Having the Stygimoloch would be kind of fun. There's also that Ceratops that I don't remember the name of what the name of it is called, but it's the one that, you know, licks Owen's face when he's recovering from being tranked, and then does that sort of two-legged ground stomp with him right between the legs, and then it just wanders off. I think it'd be cool to have that dinosaur in there, and then there's the Baryonyx and the Carnotaurus from that movie. Would be having those guys in there would be great. I mean, I know Lego Jurassic World has a Baryonyx, but this one is a lot more film accurate and scale accurate too, because the one in Jurassic World is basically, you know, a Spinosaurus without its sail. You know, that's it. And there's no, and you know, a Baryonyx is not the same size as a Spinosaurus. You know, it's smaller. And Spinosaurus has always been the bigger of the two. So, and so, yeah, seeing those dinosaurs would be great in there, and also having, obviously, ones from Dominion that we haven't seen yet would be great as well. Being able to play as them. And again, if, you know, in a completely restriction-free hub world where you can just roam around the entire hub as the dinosaur, you know, you're not limited to just one specific area of the whole, you know, the whole hub. You know, it would be tremendously satisfying, I think. And so, you know, yeah, so I think it would be really great if they added that, you know, did that with a new Jurassic game, a new Lego Jurassic game. You know, having more dinosaurs, obviously more characters, because again, characters from Fallen Kingdom and Dominion would have to be in there. But yeah, definitely more dinosaurs, more hub worlds, you know, more improved hub worlds for the first four films, and then also, you know, just, you know, the thrill of playing all the films again in a new way, you know, in a new way. In addition to the two that we can't play right now because they didn't do a Lego version of those. But, so yeah, I think that would be a really cool thing if they did just make a new Lego Jurassic game and, you know, had just more to them had more to it than the first game had. And, in addition to, you know, being on the next gen and maybe the current gen, you know, if they did decide to make it and they made it for the, you know, Xbox One and Switch, and PS4, obviously. But, yeah, so that's the game that I'd like to see them make after a new Lego Jurassic game with, you know, more dinosaurs, more hubs, more improved hubs, and more freedom, like, they want with Lego Star Wars. They want more freedom. A new Lego Jurassic game should have get the same treatment. And so, but, yeah, I know a lot of people probably at the beginning, before I mentioned the game, were probably thinking I was gonna say, a Lego Marvel Infinity Saga, or a new Indiana Jones game, which actually I wouldn't mind either, but a new Lego Jurassic game is personally the one I'd like right now. And, so, but yeah, so yeah, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to drop a like and comment, and if there's a Lego game you'd like to see, feel free to share it. I'm not objective, at least not too much. And yeah, it would be, with all this new technology, TT Games could do anything with future Lego games. Now, whether they would or not is the big question, but they could. And so, but yeah, a Lego Jurassic game, a new one is my choice. That's my choice. It's my preference right now, and so, yeah, and so, thanks for listening, and hope you all have a decent day with the snowfall, and this is Recon Trooper signing out. Later.